These musicians and their prices, man. I just made a video on Melanie Martinez and her expensive eggs, and now we're talking about a 21 Pilots museum. In case anyone missed it, 21 Pilots announced that their fan premiere exhibit would be going along with them on their upcoming Clancy tour. Basically, fans who have gotten tickets to the concert can get these additional tickets that will get them inside this fan exhibit, which is basically a collection of 21 Pilots history. It's like a little museum thing. And boy oh boy, did this cause an uproar. There were so many complaints with this, and we will go through all of the major ones in this video. Now, the main kicker with this fan premiere thing was its price tag. Each ticket is $150, and this is what's included. Ticketless Upgrade must purchase tickets to the show separately, pre-show access to the fan premiere exhibit featuring band memorabilia from their personal collection, interactive photo ops, fan lounge, and more, pre-show access to shop merchandise, as well as a souvenir package that includes a signed item and a laminate. Now, I'll admit this is kind of vague in parts. A lot of people didn't know what a ticketless upgrade was, and I think that means that's an upgrade to the ticket that you have bought separately. So this upgrade doesn't come with access to get into the show, it just gives you access to enter this exhibit. And yeah, it was pretty vague, and a lot of people think that it was not worth $150, especially since this whole exhibit was free when the Clancy album dropped. A lot of fans couldn't grapple with the fact that they're now charging $150 for an exhibit that was free. And there are some answers to that beyond greed. A big issue with this is that they just simply had to turn a lot of people away when the event was free. There were just way too many people showing up for this thing, and they couldn't get that many people through by the time the event was over. At least if you pay for your way in, you are guaranteed a spot in the exhibit and you won't be sent away. And also, it was a lot cheaper to set up one time in Columbus. Now that this exhibit is going on tour, they have to pay all of the venues that are going to set this up. They have to get a team to set it up, tear it down, traveling costs, a whole bunch of other stuff that wasn't really an issue when it was a one-time thing in Columbus. Fortunately for a lot of these issues, Mark, their creative director, took to Twitter to kind of explain some of the reasoning behind this. As for why they're suddenly charging, Mark had this to say. "We found a low-quality pop-up in Columbus where we can pack our cars and drive to load in. Was a lot easier. Hard, but easier than this. But we found our footing and made some art for you." Obviously, it was easier just to do one event in Columbus where they already live, where they could just essentially set everything up themselves. But now they have a team that has to tear this down and set this up and actually travel on the road with this exhibit. And obviously that's going to be a little bit more costly. And it didn't really help matters any because there's only a limited amount of people that could actually get into this event. When you have less people doing a thing, they're going to have to pay more to cover the cost of this event. I also want to add we are only able to safely host 225 people every night based on the venue's rooms accessible to everyone on site. Thanks for being open about the conversation. It's something we haven't done before and fought pretty damn hard to get that price down. There was a fan that continued this conversation by saying, 225 people a night, that's roughly $34,000 per stop. That makes total sense in terms of hauling, setup, and merch costs. It's still a tough pill to swallow, but at least we know. When people saw this $150 price tag, they were quick to say that this was just a soulless cash grab, and 21 Pilots doesn't care about the fans, they just want that sweet, sweet money. But in reality, the cost was so high because there's less people. You're only dealing with 225 people a night. Of course, that small group is going to have to pay more to actually cover the cost it took to run the event. That sucks, but that is just what's going on. But another complaint I found floating around was just how last minute this event was announced. I'm not gonna lie, when they posted this, I was also caught off guard because tickets went on sale only a couple hours after they posted that. It was just like, surprise, here's this thing that's going on sale in like 2 hours. Now, the main complaint with this is that it's kind of hard to drop something this last minute because their fan base are teenagers and young adults. We don't really have the money to just randomly spend. But I think this can be cleared up in a tweet that Mark posted that wasn't really directed at that, but I think it gives some sort of answer. But I will tell you, our team delayed to make it make more sense. So obviously the 21 Pilots team fought hard with these venues to lower the price, and that did take up some time. Ultimately, I don't think it was 21 Pilots that set like when tickets should go on sale. I think they probably did have more time to warn us, but because there was such a fight over the price and how this was going to be ran, I think they just ran out of time, and the venues were like, we're going to sell these now. now. Again, I totally get why people want like some sort of like warning ahead of time, and this is kind of, you know, sudden to spring onto people, but again, this was not negligence on 21 Pilots' part. In fact, this is a result of them fighting to lower the prices. Now, I will go on to say that it seems like 21 Pilots and Mark did work hard to make the price tag mean something. They were adding merch to the exhibit, they were adding autographs to the exhibit, and it seems like the exhibit itself is going to be changed a little. So excited for this to hit the road. It takes a lot of work to get something this massive on additional trucks with more crew to create a handcrafted experience for you. It has become so much more than a museum, it's a proper exhibit. So it does make it a little better that it seems like the 21 Pilots team is trying to make the bang worth the buck. And it also makes me happy to see that Mark did fight really hard to bring the price down, which makes this situation a little bit different than what I said in my Melanie Martinez video. I think it's different from that in that there was some open communication, and there was like, we did try to bring the price down, but we are going to try to make it worth it since we can't really change the price. I'm willing to show more mercy for 21 Pilots since it seems like there was more effort put into it. And also I think the fan reaction to it is a little bit different in this scenario. With Melanie Martinez, of course, I'm not really in that fandom. I mean, I'm kind of watching, like observing from the outside, but I'm so much more within the 21 Pilots fandom, so maybe I just missed this. It seems like the clickies, the 21 Pilot fans, got way more aggressive with this. Like, the Melanie Martinez fans were disappointed, but man, did they defend her. Like, the heat I got in those comments were insane. 21 Pilots fans were so quick to bash the band, to bash other fans, to just be hateful in general, and I don't think that that's necessarily fair, considering that it seems like 21 Pilots did fight hard to make this fair, and they are trying hard to make it worth the price. Ultimately, I think 21 Pilots and Mark did what they could in a hard situation. Do I think that it's going to be worth it? I'm not sure. I guess time can only tell when we actually see the thing and when we kind of get some answers, because again, like, this description is kind of vague. The main point I want to make in this video is that it's okay to feel disappointed. It's okay to not be able to get tickets and feel disappointed. That's okay. It's even okay to share online that you feel disappointed. But when it gets to the point that you're like obsessed with this topic and you're bashing the other fans, you're bashing the band, you're saying that like, I'm gonna leave 21 Pilots forever, this is outrageous, which I did see that. It just kind of gives off spoiled vibes. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, yes, it's disappointing maybe for like 5 minutes, but it is something that you should get over. Like, oh boy, you didn't get tickets to the 21 Pilots Museum, it's over for you. It seems like a big reoccurring issue within the 21 Pilots fandom is this sense of entitlement. Like, of course, Mark did what he could to make this accessible and to make this fair to everyone, but you're not really entitled to that. You don't need the 21 Pilots Museum to live. At this point, I think people just want to be nitpicky and just want to complain and be mad at something, and it's not fair to take that anger out on the band, who did really try in this situation to be fair. I think 21 Pilots fans need to get a grip on reality sometimes, because we blow things out of proportion so often. Like, you're gonna be okay. We will survive this. It's gonna be alright. And let me just put this out there, because this also seems like an issue for whatever reason. If you did get tickets to this thing, doesn't make you better than anybody else. I don't really see this with other fandoms, but like 21 Pilot fans have like such an issue with money and like what makes you a fan or not. If you go to a lot of concerts, does not make you better than anybody else. If you have met Tyler and Josh, does not make you better than anybody else. If you get to go to these fan events and concerts and you have all of the merchandise, doesn't make you better than anybody else. If you became a 21 Pilots fan before Josh was even in the band, doesn't make you better than anybody else. What makes you a 21 Pilots fan is that you like the music. That's literally all it takes. This kind of took like a weird turn, but I just wanted to say that. But yeah, that's what happened. Another day in a click, another drama meltdown, just daily stuff. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like, subscribe, and as always, I will see you in the next one.